Oh, look at that. A new thin layer of snow. Yeah, buddy. Oh, good. Yep, love that. Man, navigating vehicles today. Got the this is the worst, this stuff. Got the lady in her car looking down at her phone while reversing into her parking spot. And then we got the truck. Mr. Truck. Yesterday I was filming with my Insta that I borrowed from Sergey. It's just an X2, it's nothing special, but it does create some interesting opportunities, because since you're filming in 360, then you can alternate between filming yourself or showing the footage of yourself and then showing the footage in front of you or around you, which you can't do with the GoPro. But I just feel that the quality of the GoPro is so much better, and also somehow it just feels a bit more personal. And realistic, you know, when riding in snow and stuff, like the way it tracks movements. I am gonna start playing with some settings though. So now, for instance, I switched from hyper wide to super wide, so that's less wide, and that way I won't be as far away. But still I'm far away because this is quite a long stick. It's the 1 meter one, so I didn't really need to have this this tripod attachment. The tripod attachment adds some length to it, which can be handy sometimes, but you know, if I'm just filming myself, and also it adds some weight. I also really like the linear view. That's very nice. 5K. Oh man, oh man, oh man. But then we have cameras like the X5, the Insta. That's very nice resolution. That's 8K, and 8K isn't what you get when you export. 8K would be the actual 360 video. And then when you export a view or an angle or a fixed angle, and that will be less than half. Man, this is really heavy. This is really, really heavy. Maybe I'll consider hyper wide, not the tripod handle, and maybe not fully extending it, because that way also the microphone on the GoPro isn't 1,000 miles away. And now we convert into the plowed path. This is the one that has been plowed. Thank God for that. So they just got these plows that go along and they try not to scrape the asphalt too badly, which they really don't, because I mean, man, that's a lot of snow and a lot of footprints and a lot of texture. we're at -1, so the snow isn't going anywhere. Tomorrow, we're gonna get +degrees, and we're also gonna get 15 millimeters of snow. So we're gonna get more snow, and then it's not gonna snow anymore for a while, and we're gonna stay at +degrees, like +1 or +2. So whatever soupy mess that is gonna make, a slushy mess, I bet. Oh yeah, I was also gonna try something else today. Let's give that a shot. I'll take off the tripod handle, and also I'm going to flip the camera so that the camera is down and the stick is up. Because right now, when I'm holding the camera here, I feel that the stick obscures the wheel. So I imagine that the stick is now obscuring me. But if I had to choose, I would choose the wheel. And I took off the tripod handle. So that means that when I do stuff like this, that maybe you'll see it better. But yeah, I do feel that when I am riding now and when I'm looking around and I see this parking lot over here, well, I can't show you. For me to show you, I would have to stop. I would have to retract the stick. I would have to change the camera angle to the linear camera angle. Well, wouldn't have to. I can actually just do this. There's the parking lot. So cars have been drifting. And then the parking lot will be in the super wide mode. Insta360 software does have some nice and very easy de-warping that you can do. You can just say, hey, de-warp this, and it'll de-warp it. So yeah. I'm kinda tempted, but I know how it will end. So yeah, then we're here again. So this one has obviously been swept. Because otherwise there would be snow all over it, and also I think the plow would catch on those bumps. Technologia. Look at the way snow just cakes on this tire. When snow cakes on the tire like this, I might as well be riding a slick. Which I want to try. So I'm gonna ask Sergey if he's riding his Aero in this weather, because if he is, I'm gonna ask to just take it for a short ride and try it on snow and see if like it really behaves incredibly uncontrollably, so that we're dying. Nice. Now we're going to do the coffee test. And see if I get burning hot coffee all over my face. Gotta check in the front display just to see if I'm in frame, and I'm in frame. So then we'll see what the angle ends up being. If it's like filming me from below and up, then I always feel like the crotch gets enhanced, so you get this the crotch view, or otherwise you get the head view. So I'm gonna head over to the grocery store. This week they have, oh man, did I take a wrong turn? Yeah, I took a wrong turn. I've gotten this far. Thing about taking a wrong turn, well, that will definitely make this coffee test worth something. Oh man, I'm checking my options and they're all bad. They have collagen powder, type 1 and type 3, which is just a super convenient way to get your collagen. Unless you're like me and like eating chicken wings every day. Well, not every day, but I do eat a lot of chicken. Spilled a bit. Oh, yep. Look at that tire, man. So collagen powder is good for your skin and hair and nails, right? And helps with the elasticity. Oh, I saved that one. Whoa. Yeah, so there I feel that I'm happy that the stick wasn't in the way. We'll see. I'll leave both types of footage here. Now this hand is getting tired and I can't switch hands because I'm holding coffee. Oh man, I got the bell there. Never mind. There we go. Hey. So yeah, either my forearms have gotten very weak, or they're overtrained, or this GoPro is heavier than my older GoPro. Which it is, a tiny bit. And the stick is a bit longer. So, leverage. So let's see. Yeah. Less likely to slide out. Unless you take this one super sharp. Oh man. Oh man. There we go. So a couple of months ago, I started buying coffee so that I had coffee at home. And then I was like, you know, it was 50 cents for a cup of coffee. And then it rose the price. Raised to a whole $1. So here, this saltwater solution, this is just like super grippy. So then I started drinking coffee at the gym. So I started going to the gym every morning because they had free coffee, and I said, okay, well then I'll drink my coffee and I'll do my workout, and then I get that done, and then I can go about my day. Because right now I'm not working, I'm taking time off, I'm just doing nothing. So I spent more time working out. And just doing stuff, just like fooling around on the wheel. Here's a thought. In my binary world, when I'm talking, I could do this. That's something. So Elias, a friend of mine who has an S22, is thinking about getting a new wheel. And he saw the price on the Extreme at thego.com. Man, that's a good wheel still by today's standards, and very nicely priced. So he's considering getting one. You know, we like doing trails, and he needs a wheel that doesn't weigh a ridiculous amount, because some of these apartment complexes that we live in, man, they don't have elevators, so you're stuck rolling up the wheel a couple of flights of stairs, and that can suck. Sometimes I feel like moving. Also, my apartment is really too big for me. You just end up wasting space and paying more to waste space. But yeah, I could do something fancier with my spare room maybe. So the Extreme, you know, still a very nice wheel, good suspension. You can change the spring if you wanna. I think that the P6 is a very attractive wheel. And the other day they announced the Lynx S, which is a bit heavier, 2.5 kilos heavier. So you're bordering towards the course, the Sherman L weight, you're getting very close to it. But the Lynx S is faster and it's torquier. But it's gonna kill batteries. You know, because if you end up going faster, generally here though, us riders, it's very, very rare for us to get to 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles an hour. Very, very rare. We like touch it for a second. We're more 40 mile an hour people. Shut up, you bird. $45. About 50. Really, really going deep there, man. But I really like long cruises. So I feel that my EX30 has a good amount of battery with those 3600 watt hours. A Sherman L would have more. A P6 would have even a tiny bit more. But when I'm with Sherman L riders and we come to a forest or something like that, I mean, it's basically the same. It's not like I'm smoking anybody because I'm on the Lynx. You know, I'm like, haha, I'm gonna do all this amazing stuff now because I'm on the Lynx, haha, and you're on the Sherman L, haha. And it's just like, no, they will do just as well. And I won't be doing much of the trails that are more than 30 miles away because it's 30 miles back and then I'm not making it. Or I'll do it on the EX30 and then I'll struggle on the trails and do whatever I have to do on the trails, but don't have to worry about battery as much. But with the Lynx, I'm just always worrying about battery. So I don't think there is much of a chance of me going back to this kind of watt hour because I simply like long rides. And then you can say, you know, yeah, but you can stop and you can charge. Well, sort of. But I mean, now, you know, it's not like I can stop and I can charge because the batteries are too cold. So I would have to wait for them to get warm and then charge. And if you wait for them to be warm, you know, then what's that? You're waiting for them to be warm so that you can quick charge. And quick charge is like the thing, you know. That's where you will maximize the damage to your batteries if they're cold. Yeah, so there was a skate park back there, by the way, that is just all covered in snow. And a few years back, you know, Simon and I would be out at those skate parks and just fooling around in the snow on our non-suspension wheels. Because if you take a tumble, any glass here, if you take a tumble and fall off one of those small wheels, you can sort of like walk off the small wheel. But I mean, if you're getting off this super high pedestal, you know, you're gonna say bye to your ankles. You're gonna fall down in a bad way. At least on snow and ice. So I guess with the Patton I would mind less, but with the Lynx I'm just like, I'm not really, not really too keen on falling. And especially not, no, whoa man, okay. Jeez Louise. And now since I have the stick down and the camera up, then maybe you didn't see that. Maybe there wasn't much to see because those small traction losses are usually not that visual if you just look at the wheel versus looking at the person that's almost dying. Look at these hot dogs, man. Got a little woody. 50 cents. But yeah, no. Gonna grab myself some jasmine rice. $1.50 for a kilo. So guess what this is? Anchovies, but not really. Let's play Find the Collagen. Häagen-Dazs, douche de luche, dulce de leche, $4. All right. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Pure collagen. Type 1 and 3. Christopher, you got your collagen, my man. They got everything here. So it kind of gets you thinking. Hold on. Let's see how that goes. So it kind of gets you thinking, well, how did the Lynx be this fast and this torquey, and then with the same battery config be faster and torqueier? That's something. Well, updated controller, which will allow you to squeeze out more power. Some squeaking. Oh, what's the train? There you go. Okay, you end up squeezing out more power out of the wheel. Great. Out of that 4P config. And still Samsung 50S. Alright, so far so good. So you can burst, right? You can hold some high speed for a second there, and then you'll dip voltage wise quite a chunk, you know. And something about Lynx, the OG Lynx, is that for a 151 volt wheel, it is slow. It is on the slow side for where the alarms go off, and also considering the fact that it uses field weakening, where the field weakening gives a 15% rotation increase. Unlike big old wheels and their field weakening at level 9, that gives a 21-22% increase. So Librachem's field weakening is a little bit on the conservative side. So we have that, and then it's like, okay, what is the magnet width on this motor? It's hard to say. I tried asking AI, and man, don't ask AI questions, especially if you don't know that it's probably wrong. And it started to gaslight me. It doubled down. It doubled down. It said that the Lynx was a C30, and I said no, but the Lynx and the Apex have the same motor. What's the magnet width on the Apex? And it said C30, and I said, look at this teardown. And I said, yeah, according to the teardown, it's 37. So in test, it was 30, and then in production, the Apex was 37 magnet width. And I'm saying, okay, but how about the Lynx then, since they use the same motor? And I said, no, they originally used the same motor, but then the Apex switched to 37. I'm like, really? And then, okay, well, how fast do they go? And they just show the same speed between the Lynx and the Apex. I mean, come on, they share the same firmware, basically, with some graphical interface changes. And it's just like, no, it just kept on doubling down. And I said, prove to me that the Lynx is a C30. And it's like, there's no proof, it's just consensus amongst the forums and what people have said. And geez, what people have said. Well, you know, other things that people have said is that eggs are bad for you and that you shouldn't eat more than 3 eggs a day. Other things that people have said is that when you're doing squats, don't let your knees go past your toes. Well, how the hell are you going to squat, man? You're going to fall straight on your ass. That's crazy. So it just like kept on going on and on and on. And if you look at the Lynx rim width, tire width, etc., it's not on the narrow side. But the interesting thing about the, oh man, the interesting thing about the Lynx S, here's a whole lot of dogs, man. Whoa. The dog walkers. The Lynx S C42, 42 millimeter magnet width. So, of course, then they can change the winding. And they can change the winding and have it configured for more speed with the magnets offering the torque. But if you look at the EX30, which is a 134 volt wheel, it is as fast or faster than the Lynx OG without field weakening. And that's 134 versus 151 volts, where you would expect like a tiny bit. These old people, these old ladies in particular, they just have a tendency to freeze. Someone's coming. Freeze. It's stupid as hell. Yeah, so now I'm done with my shopping, but I am quite entertained at this point. So I think I will continue with path yonder path, and not go back to the salted bike path, because that's just a little bit boring. So okay, then you get the magnet width. I hope that the magnet width does not lead to some crazy rim width on the updated Lynx, on the Lynx S, because then that will make tires behave in a certain way, and it will make the wheel behave in a certain way, and it's not for everyone. I mean, if you look at the EX30, which is a C40, then again people have put on rim narrowers, so you can make the rim a bit more narrow to accommodate the tire. Me personally, I love the way that the stock knobby rides on the EX30. It makes it ultra stable and makes it super cool with the heavy gyro. And I have still found it to behave decently with street tires, and even like the street tire, not MC tire, but street tire, like the CST 6004. That tire has a tendency to relatively want to flop a little to the left and right, flop to the sides. It wasn't the train. Or was it? Well, what am I gonna say? I'm riding on the worst crap that you can imagine. Pretty much. My bearings sound like pure hell. It could be the snow. Okay, I gotta stop. And then we'll see about the price. And then what you will get is you'll get an upgrade when it comes to the controller, the features, etc., the speed, you know, so you can hit touch some higher top speeds there. But since the other things haven't changed, then you'll kind of be limited there, at least in for how long you can do it. So let's see the shiders. This is the fantastic snow mode. Let's take a look. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. This is getting a bit much. Whoa. Ooh. Yeah. Oh boy. This This is super treacherous. Whoa! Oh! Can't take anymore. I'll go on this more snowy one because that snow mud is not my jam. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Grooves. This groove is in the heart. So what they do need to do is release an updated Sherman L. What are they going to call that then? The Sherman LS? So an updated Sherman L, which would be an expanded, get the Lynx S and just expand it. Then you'll have something to play with, because then you'll have reliable power delivery with a 6P config. That's 6 packs in parallel. And that in turn would mean a heavier motor, which would add probably those 2.5 kilos back that have been shaved. Let's see. Which way? Where am I even, bro? I can't navigate because everything is white. I'm at the white road. Snow likes to get trapped between the tire and the fender, which is also crazy annoying, because then when you're going to put the wheel away, oh great, you're going to put the wheel away, you know, then if you don't get that water out of there, then it's going to drip, 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 drip for 1,000 years. Yeah, guess I won't be taking that path. Oh, maybe I can take a little nap in here. Yeah, so that's snow trapping. No, my EX30 doesn't trap snow at all. But I'm afraid that I might ruin other stuff on the EX30, and since that's my Long Ranger and I don't have to necessarily ride it in this weather. And then in general, when it comes to my experiences with Leaperkim, well, I can say that my Lynx failed with the battery pack dying, or the BMS dying, and my patent failed, which is most likely the motherboard, which is causing one of the battery packs to not register. I tried measuring through the motherboard, and then I could see that one of the packs wasn't passing through the motherboard to the other side. Okay, I reached the limit of how much I could parry. So that's 2 Leaperkim wheels that I have owned, and both failed. And that's it. Now my patent is there and it's dead. It's just a brick. So I'll see. I can order a motherboard and then go fool around with that. Or maybe just order an Extreme. But I am trying to keep costs down, because since I'm not working and I'm not collecting unemployment benefits or anything like that, I don't have any income, so I'm just keeping my costs down. I do have money saved. Oh man. But that just means, you know, that I would prefer for now to live a bit more frugally, so that I don't have to worry that, oh man, I gotta get back to work. I gotta get back and join the workforce and work and work and work and work. I'm 52, man. I would like it if I never had to work again. That's what I would like. And then I just go around and do other stuff and fool around with other stuff. Like yesterday I went to iCafe. Sergey was going to do some troubleshooting of an arrow that a customer left. One of the battery packs wasn't checking in. Oh, look at that. Which required a motherboard change. And then after the top motherboard change, then the tire wasn't rotating properly, so something shorted on the bottom motherboard, and you lift that bottom motherboard, and amongst the thermal paste you see water. It's like, okay. So then that board got replaced, and now it works. So there you go. The Leaperkim spin-off MOSFET got the same problem. People just sweep it under the rug. Sure, I've had problems with big old wheels as well. Turning in. So yeah, all this slow riding and rotating is making me sweat. My balls are sweating. Actually, my upper body is sweating. Someone's phoning. Some number I do not recognize. Probably wants me to buy something. Sorry, I'm poor. I'm a really terrible person, inconveniencing people because I'm on the shared walking and bike path. Excusez-moi. Sound of pooping. Whoa, whoa. The sound of drifting. Tiny curbs, man. Got an old man in his car. He should be having his eyes on the road, not his eyes on me. All eyes on me. Careful, stupid. Now to investigate that squeaking. Oh man, that hasn't happened in a long time. Oh, I'm gonna stop doing that. And that's the price you pay for fiddling with stuff that was fine to begin with. So, would I buy the Lynx S or a P6? That is a question. I don't like what InMotion did with the proprietary charger connection. Man. It just feels like they're getting a lot of power. As to what we can and what we can and can't do with our wheels. And imagine they find out that you bought yours for a tiny bit of lower price than what they locked the price at. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll just lock it. Good luck. We'll just remotely disable it. So people that were worried about Huawei phones and stuff like this and China stuff spying on us, well, not that I'm one of those foil hat peoples, but I mean, this one is pretty fresh, pretty obvious and pretty fresh. They're not shy about it, you know. They're not being particularly secretive about it. We sell it for what we say, or else. And it goes 93 miles an hour. Sure, man. Sure. Guess how much Coke is in this bottle? Half a liter. By the way, at the very bottom we have some particles of glass, so be careful taking that last sip from the bottom. Preferably, if you want to, you know, safety margin and safety margin on the safety margin, because I mean the 93 miles an hour, that must be with safety margin. You know, it's not like this, like, hey, no, we meant 93 miles an hour with no safety margin at all. Okay. Okay. The squeaking stopped. Time heals all wounds. Time heals all your wheel problems. Just keep riding, no matter what. Beeping wheel, keep riding. Hall sensor not working, keep riding. Battery pack not checking in, keep riding, my man. We cannot stop. We gotta ride. We gotta get that rice for $1.50. We gotta get the collagen powder for $10. So yeah, for a while there, a couple of months ago, I was thinking, maybe I should start working again. And then I started playing Diablo. Things changed, man. I started having fun playing Diablo 4. Squeaking. Yeah. Just track snow, man. It's gonna snow like hell tomorrow. People coming with their dog, so I'll go take the Swifty road. Gonna pet that dog. Hey, tack! Super roligt. They were cheering me on. Oh, you can cheer me on, all right, honey. With my dick.